Hey everybody, welcome to Crackback Tuesday number 124 on the Mana Leak. I'm John as always, and we're back to cracking packs of Ixalan. We're going to crack this open, see what's in it, and more importantly, see what we would take pack one, pick one, if this was a draft. I still have been definitely enjoying the Ixalan draft format. I know some people haven't, but I absolutely love it. Up first is Dead-Eye Tormentor. Dead-Eye Tormentor is 2 and a black for a creature, human pirate at common. It's a 2/2. It has raid. If you attack this turn, when it comes into play, discard a card. Or a target opponent discards a card. Sorry, you don't discard a card. Yeah, this is okay. If you're in pirates, if you're in black-red pirates, blue-black pirates, etc., it's fine, but it's very 23rd cardish. It's very last card in your deck. It's nowhere near the first pick. Rummaging Goblin, 2 and a red for a creature Goblin Rogue. It's a 1/1, tap, discard a card, you get to draw a card. Rummaging Goblin's okay. It obviously doesn't really go in red-white aggro or red-black aggro, but if you're a little bit more mid-rangey, a little bit more controlling, Rummaging Goblin is a great source of card advantage, but nowhere near a first pick. Blossom Dryad is up next. Blossom Dryad is 2 and a green for a creature Dryad at common. It's 2/2, tap it, on tap target land. This is a good ramp if you're being, big red-green stompy dinosaur or something like that. It is a fantastic way of ramping. I would first pick it in a very weak pack, which this one currently is, with only 3 cards in. So we'll keep it in frame for the time being, but hopefully it goes away. Up next is Storm Sculptor. Storm Sculptor is 3 and a blue for a creature Merfolk Wizard. It's a 3/2. Storm Sculptor can't be blocked. When Storm Sculptor enters the battlefield, return a creature you control to its owner's hand. Fine card. It works in a number of different decks. Merfolk deck. It does work in Pirates because you get the Pirate Raid triggers again, etc. It's surprisingly decent, but it is nowhere near a first pick. Cobbled Wings is up next. 2 generic mana for an artifact equipment. Equipped creature has flying. Equip for 1 mana. I don't like this. Yes, it can be used to some effects on like a giant dinosaur, but I feel like that giant dinosaur is probably going to win anyways. So why do you need to waste a card slot on Cobbled Wings? I have seen it played, and I can imagine myself in a situation where the draft didn't go great playing it, but I'm not going to actually try to play it, and it's nowhere near a first pick. Spell Pierce is up next. A single blue mana for an instant. Counter target non-creature spell unless its controller pays 2 generic mana. Not a fan of Spell Pierce. I would never really main deck it in a draft. Even if I was in blue-black control, which I have been in, I still would not play Spell Pierce. I want to be hitting non-creature spells. Or sorry, I want to be hitting creature spells because that's going to be 15, 16, 17 of the cards in your opponent's deck. The non-creature spells are just so narrow. Side it in if there's some that you just can't handle, but never really main deck it. Territorial Hammerskull is definitely a first pickable card. 2 and a white for a creature dinosaur. It's a 2/3. Whenever Territorial Hammerskull attacks, tap target creature an opponent controls. This is just ludicrous common. I'm shocked it's not uncommon. This can just end games. This into a 4-drop, into a 5-drop with a 2-drop before it. It's just going to be a really, really, really big game. Fits the best in red-white dinosaurs, of course, but it goes in basically any white deck that's attacking. It's not even going to try to compete with the Blossom Dryad there. So we'll keep it in frame as our only first pick at the moment. Up next is Windstrider. Windstrider is 4 and a blue for a creature Merfolk Wizard. It's a 3/3 flash flyer. It's okay, but 5 mana is a lot of mana for just this. If you're a Merfolk, obviously it goes up a decent amount. If you do get to go off with the Blue-White Skies deck, which can happen, then this does go up a bit as well. But this is a card that if you want it, you're going to pick it up way later than first pick. So out of frame. Our final common is Hierophant's Chalice. Hierophant's Chalice is 3 generic mana for an artifact. When it enters the battlefield, each opponent loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. Tap it, add colorless to your mana pool. I have thought about playing this a number of times for ramp, and I've never actually done it. There's better ways of getting ramp. There's just better cards than this card to play. If you desperately need to be getting to 6, 7, 8, 9 mana for whatever reason, maybe you can play it, but you don't really ever want to be in a position of playing this, and certainly not a first pick. Our first uncommon is Verdant Rebirth. Verdant Rebirth is 1 and a green for an instant at uncommon. Until end of turn, target creature gains. When this creature dies, return it to its owner's hand. Draw a card. I like Verdant Rebirth. It's a really nice trick that draws you a card, and then it draws you the creature again, basically. It's surprisingly good. I would never first pick it. It's just, it's too narrow for a first pickable card. It is kind of a combat trick of sorts, but I'd be very happy with this early in the pack, and I'd probably always play the first one. Up next is Dark Nourishment. Nourishment is 4 and a black for an instant and uncommon. Dark Nourishment deals 3 damage to target creature or player. You gain 3 life. Great spell. Instant speed, 3 damage, kills a good deal of stuff in this set. It obviously doesn't kill the biggest of dinosaurs, and it doesn't kill X4s, and there are a few 3/4s that are running around that are real pain. But this also hits the player, which just finishes them off. Plus, it gains you 3 life. I like Dark Nourishment quite a bit. Very strong first pick. Tempest Scholar, also a very good first pick. 2 blue for a creature, Merfolk Wizard. It's a 2/3. When it enters the battlefield, tap all creatures target opponent controls. Then attack them and win is what typically happens. Tempest Scholar is just disgusting. Add-on common, where it belongs, unlike Territorial Hammerskull. Tempest Scholar is great. I haven't actually personally played with it, but I've lost to it, and I've seen people lose to it quite a bit. Really, really good card. I'd be pretty happy first picking it. We have a rare, but we have a foil that we'll look at first. Shaper Apprentice, 1 and a blue for a creature Merfolk Wizard at common. It's 2/1, has flying as long as you control another Merfolk. Totally fine Merfolk. Like, if you are in blue-green Merfolk deck, this thing is solid, as 2/1 flyers for 2 often are. And it can even block non-flyers, which your average 2/1 flyer for 2 usually can't. Yeah, I like Shaper Apprentice quite a bit. I'd never ever consider first picking it, but the second I'm heading down the Merfolk route, this is right there. The rare is not a good one. Shaper's Sanctuary, a single green mana for an enchantment. Whenever a creature you control becomes the target of a spell or ability an opponent controls, you may draw a card. That's just not good enough. It doesn't really do anything. You know, yeah, if I hit it with Dark Nourishment, you get to draw a card. I did kill your creature, though, and you spend a card on this in your deck, and you spend a mana on it, and it's too narrow. That being said, the one place that it's amazing is Territorial Hammerskull, because this is not a May ability. If you attack with this creature, you must target something, and then you must have your opponent draw a card. I had that absolutely blow me out against somebody who was main decking Shaper's Sanctuary, and it was not correct to main deck it, but it worked out against me. But realistically, you're never taking this card, and I don't think you should ever really be playing it. So this is a good sort of pack here to discuss. My leaning is towards Hammerskull just because I've had so much success with it. Dark Nourishment, I think, is probably the most versatile card, and I think Tempest Scholar is probably the most powerful when it goes off. I think I've got to just go with Dark Nourishment. I'm a sucker for removal, of course. Removal is often the strongest choice. And neither of these are exactly bombs. They're fantastic creatures, but they're not bombs. So I'm going to go with Dark Nourishment here. Let me know in the comments down below what you would have taken. Would you have taken the Nourishment, the Collar, the Hammerskull? Do you believe in Shaper's Sanctuary? Let me know. As always, if you have any questions, comments, or suggestions, you can find me on Twitter at @TheManaLeak. That's L-E-E-K, like the vegetable, not the card. You can also find me at facebook.com/TheManaLeak, twitch.tv/TheManaLeak, where I will be doing a 24-hour stream in the next few weeks on October 28th, and at patreon.com/TheManaLeak. If you like the content, click that thumbs up button. If you haven't already and you want to see more, click subscribe. And if you do have questions, comments, or suggestions, let me know. Otherwise, see y'all next time.